Hi, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step in creating your first post-engagement campaign. The reason why you need to create a post-engagement campaign because you want to have a social proof on your ad before using it for a conversion campaign. This has been the main reason why most advertisers do use post-engagement campaign before running a conversion campaign. So in today's video, try to stay with me to the end and I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process in creating that both using a CBO and ABO. So before we start today's video, kindly go ahead and subscribe to my channel that if I release any other video, you may have access to it. So let's get started. So guys, first of all, try to log into your ad manager, and when you logged into your ad manager, it will bring you within the ad manager. So you can probably see we have a green buttons over here which is indicated create. So just go ahead and click on that. So when you click on that, that is going to bring you to an interface like this, which you can probably see we have campaign objective. So our main reason, guys, is to go for engagement. So we will quickly go ahead and click on engagement, which brings this to this particular portion, which we can see engagement type. So over here we have post engagement and we have page likes, we have event response. So guys, in our situation, we don't like page engagement because we don't want anybody to like our page, either event response because we have no event setup. So our main focus is to let people to like, to share and comment on our ad or video. So we go ahead and pick post engagement and click on continue. So when you click on that, that is going to bring us into another interface within the ad manager. Then we can start creating our ad. So you could probably see over here, guys, we need to give a name, which is the first step of the campaign name. So you can choose any name you want to give to your campaign, but I'll go ahead and pick something like PPE slash pet clipper. So I'm naming my own PPE slash pet clipper because I want to run a PPE or a post engagement campaign for a pet product. So the next thing that I'll be doing, guys, is to scroll down over here and we can see we have campaign budget optimization. Earlier in the introduction, I told you I'll be walking you through CBO and ABO. So now when you talk of campaign budget optimization, we are telling Facebook, even we want to run like 3 or 5 ad set, we want to put the money into one for you to control our money and probably spend our money on the best ad set. That is why we need to use CBO or campaign budget optimization. So in this situation, or for the first step, we are going to use CBO, which is campaign budget optimization. So go ahead and turn it on. So now when you turn it on, kindly scroll down over here. So we assume that we are going to run 3 ad set. So in this situation, each ad set will cost us $5. So that is going to be something like $15. So go ahead and put in your budget. So I put in 750 pesos because I am currently in the Philippines and that is the currency they are using here. So the next thing that we need to do, guys, is to click on next. So when you click on next, that brings us to the second stage, which is the ad set level. So over here in the ad set, guys, we have to give an asset name. So in giving the name of the asset, what I mostly do is to give the name according to the interest I'm targeting. So as we are running a post engagement for a pet product, I will go ahead and name it dog. This is the particular interest I will be targeting at the asset level. So we will just scroll down over here and comes to the budget and schedule, and over here we need to play around with the time. So supposedly you want your campaign to start immediately as we are creating, then you have to leave it as it is. But if you don't want it and you want it to start right after the 12 midnight in the following day, then you have to go ahead and change it, and then probably change this one to 12 a.m. Sorry. So now this campaign is going to start on the next day. So the next thing that we need to do is to click on show more option, and that will give you an access to limit Facebook on how to spend your money, even though he has every right. So in this situation, we are going to tell Facebook, hey, try to spend at least $4 on each asset, and you can spend the rest on the best performing ad. So we will go ahead and put in $4. So in this situation, as we are finished over there, guys, we will scroll down over here, and the next thing that we need to do is to come to audience, and over here we click on edit. So when I click on edit, you have to see the location. I am here in the Philippines, so it's already chosen. Likewise, I believe you have already chosen your location. So the next thing that we need to do is to move on to the age, and then we have to edit the age. So over here in the age, guys, the product you are selling, is it good for 18 to 65 or something like 20 to 65? So just go ahead and choose the age rate for your product. But for the sake of today's tutorial, and we are creating a post engagement campaign, I'm going to leave it at 18 to 65. So the next thing that I'll be doing is to come to the agenda, and I'll be editing that. So guys, the product that you are really selling, is this something which is good for men or women? And is this something which cuts across or is good for both men and women? So when you look at the product we are selling now, guys, it is something which is good for both men and women, so we are going to leave it at all. So the next thing that we'll be doing is to click on show more, and that gives us an access to pick our interests. So over here we can probably see we have detailed targeting. This is where we are going to pick our particular interest. So I will go ahead and type in dog. So guys, we now have our interest selected. So the next thing that we can do over here, when you look down here, we have a skewed and narrow audience. So when you check the audience size, guys, we probably have like 30 million to 36 million. So maybe this might be something more huge for you. So what you need to do that you want to reduce it. So the next thing that you can do is to click on narrow audience. So when you click on narrow audience, you can also narrow to a similar interest, or you can choose something like a demographic as you really want. But I will go ahead and choose engage shoppers. So now after we choose engage shoppers, guys, you could probably see that our audience size has been reduced to 12 to 14 million. So the next thing that we need to do, guys, is to scroll down over here, and we come to the placement level. So here in the placement level, we can leave it at automatic placement, which allows Facebook to put our ads in different platforms. But in certain situations, I mostly do manual placement. The reason why I do manual placement is that I really want to tell Facebook, hey, kindly put my ad especially on Facebook feed, not on Instagram or audience network. So I'll just go ahead and uncheck that. But if you think you really like to put your ads on Instagram, go ahead and check that. So the next thing that I'll be doing is to scroll down, and I will click on this. That brings us to what? It brings us to the ad level, which is the last stage of our creation. So now we have to go ahead and give a name to the ad. So over here, I will leave it for you to pick any ad that you really want. So the next thing that we need to do is to pick a name, our page, and after we pick our page, we can come to what? To the Instagram level. But don't forget that I have already unchecked my Instagram, so I'm not going to put in any Instagram here. But you can go ahead and do that if you really like. So now that we are finished, we come to the next stage, which is the ad setup. Over here, you can probably see it has already selected use existing post. Guys, using existing post means we assume that you have already created your ad within the page or your post within the page. So if you have already done that, then you can go ahead and select that particular place by scrolling down and say select a post. So when you click on that, you could probably say I've created a series of posts or ad within the page. So I will go ahead and pick any one I want. So now that we have it selected, guys, the next thing that we need to do is to just scroll down a little bit. Then we can just choose our call to action. So when you look over here, guys, you can just add a call to action to your ad. So just go ahead and pick that. So over here, you could see this particular pop-up. This is learn more. Is this something you want to bring people to your landing page, or is this something you want people to message you? So if you want to bring people to your landing page, go ahead and put in your URL. But if you don't want people to come to your landing page and you just want to chat with them, go ahead and pick on message. So now we have our ad updated. So in the same way, when you pick the shop now, that is the same way it's going to be updated. So the next thing that we need to do is to come to the message template. Over here you have the guys to what, to just play around to change it, or you can use existing template if you already have. So the next thing that we need to do is to make sure that you have selected your website event and make sure your pixel is already set up. So the next thing, guys, we need to do is to click on publish. But at this point, I'm not going to click on publish. Don't forget, I told you I'm going to walk you through both the CBO and ABO. So the next thing, guys, I'll be doing is to just go over here to the campaign. So when I comes to the campaign, I will just scroll down over here and turn this one off. So when I turn it off, the next thing that I'll be doing is to click on next. So when I click on next, it will brings me back to the asset level. That will allow me to pick a particular daily budget for my campaign. So probably we are going to pay $5, which is 250 pesos. So now we have our budget set within the asset level, which we are the one to control our own money. You do nothing anymore and just click on next. So now that we click on next, guys, we have every right to start publishing our campaign. So just go ahead and do that. But there is one thing more I have to remind you in doing, is adding what, a test to your campaign. So when you scroll down over here, guys, this really gives us a little bit upper hand, but we cannot see that because this particular test needed to be added before creating your post. So now, in case you don't really want to use existing post, you can go ahead, guys, and use this particular one, which allows you to create an ad from the beginning. So in this particular situation, we have to choose a particular ad, whether video or image. So which one do you have as your creative? So I will go ahead and pick this one, like an image, and maybe I will just use that. So permit me to use any of this. So we have it imported here. The next thing that we need to do, guys, is to play around here and put our primary text. So just go ahead and draft a good primary text that will match your creative, and also that will boost your conversion. So I will quickly just make something simple. So I have already put in my text, or my primary text, assuming that is what I really want. So the next thing that I will do is to just scroll down, guys, and also pick a call to action. So in this call to action is the same thing I taught you just in a few moments ago, that if you want to use shop now or message, just go ahead and use anyone. So after you have already picked a call to action, the next thing that you need to do finally, guys, is to click. So then we have to click on publish. So let's wait for a few minutes for everything to refresh itself. Okay, good. I think we can go ahead and do that. So let's click on publish. So this time we're expecting it to move more faster. Good. We are good to go. So let's go back to our campaign and check. So now we could probably see that it's already in schedule. So this is how after you finish creating your ad is going to look like. So thank you for staying with me to the end of today's video. And if you truly learn something out of it, kindly go and leave a comment, or if there is something you really don't understand and you want me to reply you, just go leave a comment and I will do that. Thank you for staying with me.